attempt Vlogmas. And by that, I mean, I am going to attempt 2 to 3 vlogs in December. Usually I have a lot of months with 0 vlogs, but I figured it might be nice to try to do some vlogs this December and just tell you about what I'm reading and stuff like that this month. Okay, so I'm gonna film for probably about 6-ish days, and I'm starting this on December 1st, and then I'm most likely not gonna film at all on the 2nd or 3rd because they're Saturday and Sunday, and it's very difficult for me to film when my kids are home, and so you probably won't see me again until Monday, but then I can give you a good reading update on the books I've read over the weekend. So here's what I'm currently reading and what I'm gonna plan to read also during this filming time. I'm reading What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and I'm on page, 133. This is a YA book, and it's very much The Mummy, but it's about a young woman named Inez who is recently orphaned. She's an older teen. She's like 18 or 19. I can't remember exactly how old she is. And she lives in Buenos Aires, and her parents died in Egypt. Her parents were constantly in Egypt and like spent half the year away from her, basically. They died mysteriously in Egypt, and she wants to go figure out what happened. So she boards a boat. She goes to Egypt. She runs into her uncle, who is her guardian, even though he lives half a world away. And he's basically like, get back on the boat and go home. She's very stubborn, decides not to. Decides she's going to do everything she can to stay in Egypt and figure out what happened to her parents. This is like, I can't tell if it's high fantasy or low fantasy. There's magic in this world. And it seems like everybody knows it sort of exists because it's like echoes of magic. It's not like everyone's constantly doing magic. Her uncle also has an assistant, Mr. Hayes, who's like employed by him in some way. We don't really know exactly why yet. He's very much Rick from The Mummy. He and Inez have this great banter, and you can tell that they're like attracted to each other. This book isn't as like fast-paced as I thought it would be. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not like itching to pick it up that much. Hence why I'm only on page 130. I've been reading it for about 4 days. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend, that I'll have some good reading time and can get at least a big chunk of it done. It is very fun. Again, I'm not a YA reader usually. So I think part of the pacing to me is like a little too YA. And just like inner monologues in terms of feelings towards each other romantically is a little bit too YA for me. That's a me problem, not a book problem. I am also reading, I had to bring my Kindle out because I can't remember what it's called. The newest re-release of A Nice Planet Barbarian. Which one is it? Barbarian's Touch. I'm only 2 chapters in. I'm 7% in. So I'm barely into this book, but another woman got opened up out of a pod. And there's another Sakui who's not resonating with her, but interested in her. And so far, it's kind of interesting because Lila, our heroine, is deaf, and she has normally has cochlear implants, and the aliens that kidnapped her took them away, so she's back to being deaf and freaking out, obviously, with good reason. And her hero, whose name I'm blanking on right now, what is his name? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Her hero's name is Rokan, Rokan, and he has like visions. So he knows before he sees her that something's gonna change and something big's gonna happen. But he's like, I don't think it's gonna be that I'm gonna resonate with someone, which is basically when their cooies are like, that's the person you should make babies with. What a weird series. That's how I'm gonna probably finish that this weekend too, because it's a fast read. And I don't have any writing work to do this weekend, which is very nice. I'm just gonna let myself relax. But I say I'm just gonna let myself relax. We have so much going on tomorrow, Saturday, that my schedule, just mine, not my husband's, because we're split with our children, is acro from 11:15 to 11:45, basketball from 12:30 to we have to leave early, so we're gonna leave at 1, birthday party from 1:15 to 3:15, birthday party from 3:30 to 5. So that's my nice quiet Saturday. And my husband is taking my other 2 kids to all their birthday parties and activities. And lastly, I'm hoping that towards the end of this vlog, I will start Winter Street by Ellen Hilderbrand, which is my one holiday read that I picked for this December. It's the first book in Ellen Hilderbrand's Winter Quartet. It's contemporary fiction. It's about a family with 4 grown children who are all coming home to Nantucket for Christmas. And I think their father is also a narrator. So we have their father, Kelly Quinn, who owns Nantucket's Winter Street Inn, which sounds fun. His kids are Patrick, a hedge fund manager, Kevin, a bartender, Ava, a school teacher, and Bart, who's the youngest and the only child of his second marriage, who has just joined the Marines. It sounds very fun. I'm going to read you a quick, here's this paragraph. Before the mulled cider is gone, the delightfully dysfunctional Quinn family will survive a love triangle, an unplanned pregnancy, a federal crime, a small house fire, many shots of whiskey, and endless rounds of Christmas caroling in this heartwarming novel about coming home for the holidays. So that seemed like a fun thing to read this December. Other than that, this vlog, hopefully, I promised my kids, I always make a lot of baked goods in the month of December. So my plan on Monday, so a couple days from now, is we were very, very sick over Thanksgiving. And so I have all the ingredients for pumpkin pie, but I didn't make it. And I even had bought myself a cheat to I bought a crust. I wasn't gonna make a crust, even though there's a part of my life, how many years ago was that? 8 to whenever my twins were born, years ago, that I made pies constantly. I had a pie blog for a little bit, never took off. But so I used to always make my own crust, but it's just very time consuming. So I bought crust. I have all the ingredients to make a pumpkin pie. So on Monday, I want to make a pumpkin pie. And I also want to just make a loaf of pumpkin bread, which is my recipe. Whenever I go to a party, people will say oh, did you bring your pumpkin bread? It's delicious. The recipe's impossible to find. I didn't come up with it, but it's from a cookbook my mom got in the early 90s that had an incredibly small print run and was only local to our area. So I'll try and find a link and put it in the description if I can too. So if you want to try to find it at a book thrift store, you can. And that's all I have for you right now. I might go do some Christmas shopping. I'm not going to film though. It's pouring rain today. The light's really bad. And I kind of need to focus when I Christmas shop / birthday shop, because one of my kids' birthdays is November 21st. So I have a lot of shopping to do for her. And then I'll probably read a little bit of What the River Knows before my kids get home from school and chaos ensues. All right, see you in a bit when I check in again. Good morning. True to my word, it's Monday morning and 2 of my kids are at school. 2 are homesick because it's the nature of it, right? I mean, I feel like everybody's in this predicament right now. I think the 2 that are homesick, I think one has an ear infection and I think one might have walking pneumonia. Which stinks, but we're going to the doctor later this afternoon and then I'll know for sure. And you can probably hear coughing in the background of the one who I think might have walking pneumonia. But I thought I would do a quick check-in as to where I am reading-wise. So my reading plans for the weekend did not go as planned. I really wanted to finish either What the River Knows by Isabella Benez or Barbarian's Touch by Ruby Dixon, and I didn't do either of those things. I made headway in both, but I didn't get anywhere near finishing either of them. So let's first check in with What the River Knows. I really told myself on Saturday that as long as I was over page 300 by this morning, I'd be golden. And I'm on page 220. I don't think this is a bad book. I just think it's not grabbing me. And I do think, I'm not a YA reader. And I think that's coming through for me in this story. It also, I think that it being, I don't know if inspired by The Mummy is the right word, comped with The Mummy, sounded good, but it feels a little too close to The Mummy, if that makes sense. I don't know. There's just some things, I'm just not finding it as thrilling as I was hoping I would. But I'm not gonna DNF it, we're not at that point. So today, I'm going to try to hit over page 300 so that tomorrow I'll be able to say I have less than 100 pages left. I really want this vlog to include me starting Winter Street, but I'm not gonna start it until I've finished at least one of these books. So I have to finish one of them soon so I can start Winter Street, since this is a VLOGMAS and is supposed to be about a wintry book that I read. And right now I guess Barbarian's Touch can be considered wintry because it's on an ice planet. But so that's where I am on What the River Knows. And then I grabbed my Kindle so I could look up exactly where I am, because I was reading this last night on Barbarian's Touch. There's like something stuck on my Kindle. What is that? I'm 39% done with this book, but I don't know if anyone else has been reading the new ones, the re-releases via Kindle. They mainly are getting re-released because they got paperback covers, but I get ARCs of them, so I get a Kindle version. And there is so much back matter in these, I think, to make them a little thicker. Because as someone who's written novellas, I only hard copy published one novella, and I'm actually gonna go grab it right now so I can show it to you, because there's a reason. Okay, so this is my hard copy of Something Wicked that I published when I was Lucy Hudson. And it's just, it looks small. It looks really tiny when you have a hard copy book. This book is 169 pages, and I put very little back matter in this. I have less than a page of back matter. Usually I put, in my ebook versions, I put more, like I'll put a sneak peek from another book. I didn't do that in the paperback, which I could have give it a little more bulk. But because these Ice Planet books are like in Barnes and Noble and they're in like indie bookshops, I think they probably wanted them to look a little bit thicker. So when it says I'm at 40%, I think I'm really more at 50% if you took out all the back matter, which I don't read. There's like 2 bonus epilogues, and then there's always like a sneak peek to another story, and I never read those. That is to say, the fun thing about Kindle is it keeps track of how fast you read. So this says I have 3 hours and 4 minutes left in this book, which I highly doubt. I'm gonna guess I have about 2.5 hours, 2 hours left with that book. And then I can't obviously tell with this one how much I have left, but I'm more than halfway done. I'm just reading it kind of slow. So the plan for today is take 2 of my kids to the doctor, help my oldest with a French project, and fun stuff though. I have to clean the kitchen, which is just a normal thing I do. I have to do some laundry. My computer, which you can see behind me, the charger went kaput, and I ordered a new charger because I really want a new computer, but a new charger is only $20. A new computer's over $1,000. So for now, I'm just gonna get myself a new charger and see if that works. Hopefully it will, because my computer's been having a lot of issues, but I know it's all battery related and my charger's like broken. So I'm hoping that with a new charger, I can make my computer last at least a couple more months. So I can't do any writing work today, and I can't do any editing work today. I was supposed to release a video tomorrow, and that's not going to happen because I still have to edit it. And when you upload something into YouTube, it takes a really long time, and that computer is consistently staying on for about 12 minutes, which is not long enough. So I'm going to kind of give myself a day without computer work, which is nice. I'll just do housework and I'll read a bunch, I hope, and I'm going to make something. I haven't decided if I'm going to make pumpkin bread or pumpkin pie today. My pumpkin bread recipe has orange juice in it, and we have orange juice, but there's very little left because our sick family has been drinking said orange juice. So if I have enough orange juice, I'll make the pumpkin bread because it's easier. And if I don't, I'll probably make the pumpkin pie, which is harder, but either way, it'll be a nice sweet treat for my 2 kids at school when they get home and my 2 kids who are sick when they get home from the doctor. So that's where I am, and I will probably put in a video next of me baking something, and then I'll check in a little while and let you know what I've read. Hopefully those kids will stop coughing. See ya. Okay, I'm getting ready to make my pumpkin pie because we are out of orange juice. This is the recipe book I use. I got it super on sale for $2 at the bookstore I used to work at because it was like a remainder, and it has some really good pie recipes in it that I use often. I'm probably not going to film a ton of me actually making pie because I don't have one of those things that like tips your camera this way to film what's going on here, but I'll try and take some clips with my hand that aren't too crazy. But this is called the Best Ever Pumpkin Pie. Your ingredients are canned pumpkin, half and half, eggs, brown sugar, salt, and And then, sorry, my dishwasher's on, so we've got some fun background noise going on. Cloves, cinnamon, and ginger. And right now my pre-made crust, which I got from the grocery store, is warming up a little bit before I can peel it out and put it in my pie dish. I've decided I'm also gonna make chocolate pudding pie because those are the two pies I usually make for Thanksgiving because my kids love chocolate pudding pie. My oldest and I love pumpkin pie. And I couldn't make either of them this year since I was sick. My husband attempted a chocolate pudding pie and it didn't really turn out. There was my dishwasher again. That one is very fast to make. The chocolate pudding pie, I can make it in like 15-ish minutes. So I'm gonna let this stuff get settled, but I thought I'd really quickly give you an update on what the river knows. I just forced myself to sit down and read for a while, so I'm on page 280. And it's gotten more exciting, but I am kind of skimming a little bit. I think that I was so excited to read this book. I think because I really wanted to read a book set in Buenos Aires in the early 1900s, not Egypt. And she was only in Buenos Aires for like a chapter. So I think that's part of the reason I'm kind of just like, But I've decided that today I'm gonna get to page 323 because that is the end of, it's in parts. And so that'll take me to part 4, which is the last part of the book. And then that means that tomorrow I'll only have, I think about 65 pages to read. And I can definitely finish that tomorrow. And then it means I can start my Ellen Hildebrand book. And then maybe I'll read some Ice Planet Barbarians today too. It is pretty exciting. The big thing that they've been wanting to find in their adventure, they just found. And there's a new character on the scene who's proving to be interesting. Oh, I hear a kid coming through, so I'm gonna sign off. I'll see you in a little bit. Quietly because I'm upstairs and it's almost 10 o'clock and you can hear coughing children. And the last time I think I filmed today was when I was making pumpkin pie, and then my day went wildly left. My husband went to urgent care because he really still didn't feel good, and they told him he had pneumonia, and then I took 2 of my kids to the doctor and one of them has pneumonia. So then I spent like the rest of the day trying to find her antibiotic, which is just so hard right now. What I wouldn't give for like 2017 availability of antibiotics. It was really nice then. But hopefully tomorrow they'll both be feeling better. The bad thing is I am very worried that the 3 of us who haven't had pneumonia are going to get pneumonia. So there's really nothing we can do about it. It just will happen or it won't. I'm like really shaking my phone. I'm sorry. But all that aside, I just got to page 329 of this bad boy. And here's the thing. I'm going to finish it tomorrow because I'm going to force myself to finish it. But I'm not really enjoying this book very much. And I think it is totally a case of the YA aspect. I'm just not really a YA reader. I've got The Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw, which is a YA book from Book of the Month, and I loved it. But I'd already read a book by Shay Earnshaw. What was that called? I can't remember what it was called. A History of... I can't remember. I'll put the cover right here. It's downstairs. A History of Wild Things, I think is what it's called. Something of Wild Things. I don't know. So I was already familiar with her writing style that I really liked. This just feels very much like a YA romance adventure to me, which is great for a lot of people, but just not really what I enjoy. But I am going to finish it tomorrow because I have like 70 or like 65 pages left. Not much. But now I'm going to, since it's 10 o'clock and I'm probably going to stay up for at least 30 more minutes, read a bunch of Ice Planet Barbarians, which is a grown-up romance novel. And yeah, just enjoy myself. with that, I don't know what the rest of this vlog is going to look like. I had like these plans to do a lot of fun baking. I don't even think I showed you my finished pies. I most likely didn't. And now we've eaten half of them because kids who go to the doctor really need some treats. And so does the husband who goes to the doctor. And one of the pies I made, the chocolate pudding pie, is like his favorite pie. So he ate a lot of it. So now it doesn't look aesthetic anymore. But I'm getting ready to go to sleep. I am sleeping solo in here tonight because pneumonia is extremely contagious, as you probably know. And so my twins share a room, and one of my twins has pneumonia. So the other twin is sleeping on her big sister's floor on like couch cushions and a sleeping bag. My husband is sleeping in her bed in the pneumonia room. And I'm sleeping in here by myself, which means I'll probably stay up too late reading because that's what I tend to do when I'm alone. But I will check in tomorrow, probably not first thing in the morning, probably after I do a little bit of reading or something. But I'm guessing that making pumpkin bread tomorrow is probably off the table, but who knows? Maybe everyone will wake up tomorrow and feel a lot better because of the miracle of antibiotics. I don't know. I said several times in this last 3 weeks that we've been sick with so many different things. My poor baby who has pneumonia, she has had in the last 3 weeks strep. She also has a double ear infection right now. So she had ear infections before, and apparently her first round of like light antibiotics didn't fix it. So now she's on heavy antibiotics. So in the last 3 weeks, she's had strep, double ear infections that won't go away, pneumonia, and the adenovirus. She's been so sick. I feel so bad for her. She's just a little 6-year-old. And I was reminiscing from September 2020, March 2020 through May, like June 2020 was just weird if you're a parent, you know? Like everyone was going to school at home, but it wasn't like organized at all. But September 2020 through May 2021, I homeschooled my girls, and my oldest went to virtual school, and we were so healthy. And like, obviously there were a lot of downsides to that. They didn't have any social life. We were with our kids 24/7. We were trying to come up with activities constantly. I went outside a lot more that year than I do normally. And I ran a homeschool classroom in my house. But I was just saying how much I miss my kids being healthy and just not picking up every single virus you can find, and not getting strep, and not getting all these ear infections. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to go back to homeschooling them because it was extremely stressful for me and I wouldn't have time to write. And it's just where we are. And now that I'm feeling a little depressed about all of that, I'm going to stop filming and I'm going to read a couple chapters of Ice Planet Barbarians before I go to bed and undoubtedly wake up all night with sick kids. Good morning. It's about 9:45. Okay, so this is going to be like the least cozy Vlogmas vlog you've ever watched. I'm pretty certain I'm going to get pneumonia. I don't feel good. I have bronchitis already, but my cough seems worse this morning than it did. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to finish this goddamn book because I just want it to be over. And then I already have my washing machine going. I've started cleaning my kitchen. I am going to do what I tend to do when I know I'm gonna get sick, especially because I was just sick. So I still feel very like behind on like laundry and like just general upkeep of the house and like keeping on top of my kids' homework. So today, even though I don't feel great, I don't feel that sick yet, is a day in which I'm going to do like hopefully 6 loads of laundry and hopefully get the kitchen completely clean and hopefully make 3 dinners. So my plan is right now, I'm gonna drink my cup of tea and relax for a little bit. And then when it's time to switch my laundry from the washer to the dryer, I'm gonna make chili. I'm gonna make this like spinach and pea soup that I make that I really like when I'm sick. My kids don't like it very much, but my husband and I both love it. I'm gonna make that, and I'm gonna make slow cooker salsa chicken, which we'll probably eat tonight. But I just like the idea of having 2 frozen meals ready to go in case I get really sick, which is just not ideal, but that's where we are. I also really want to clean the kids' bathroom and my bathroom, like with like bleach, not like bleach, but like Clorox. I'm really hoping we don't all get pneumonia. 3 of my kids are at school today, and I'm just waiting for the nurse to call. One of them went to the doctor yesterday, and she got the all clear, but I'm very worried she is gonna get pneumonia. So like this morning, she has a cold, but she was like negative for everything, like strep, COVID, the flu, RSV, all that stuff. And she doesn't have an ear infection, and she doesn't have pneumonia. And this morning she's like, I still don't feel very good. You know, she is a kindergartner, but all she has is a cold right now. And I was like, you have to go to school because you might miss like 4 days of school with pneumonia very soon. And I said the same thing to my oldest because he actually gets pneumonia quite often. He's kind of like predisposed to getting pneumonia. Thankfully, he's only had to be hospitalized 1 time with it, but he's had pneumonia like 6 times in his 10 years of life. And I was saying to him this morning, I'm like, I know he's like all these big projects. And I'm like, I know you don't want to do this, but like while you're healthy, you need to get as much work done on these as possible, because I don't know if next week you're going to miss like 4 days of school, or if you're going to be sick all weekend or whatever. So just trying to prep for what could happen. Yeah. So let's do a quick reading and what this day is going to look like via vlog check-in. I haven't read any more of this since I last spoke to you, so I'm on page 327, I think. Yeah, 327. I'm going to, right now, after I stop filming, read 2 chapters, at least, maybe 3 chapters to get a chunk done. I kind of hate when this happens with a book, but like at this point, I just want to finish it. So I'm probably going to skim the majority of it because it's just, I'm not a YA person, you know? I know this about myself, but the premise sounded so cool, so I grabbed it. I ordered a YA book from Book of the Month. This month I ordered Divine Rivals, and I'm a little worried about it. After this one, I'm going to put myself on a no YA for a while. Our garbage truck is in the neighborhood, which thankfully I remembered to put the garbage out, so you can hear him reversing. For the Ice Planet Barbarians Touch, I'm at 51%, and let's see how much it says I have left in the book. I have 2.5 hours left in the book, but honestly, I think I said this before already in this vlog. There's a lot of back matter, so let's see how many chapters I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 chapters left, and then there's a bonus epilogue, which I tend not to read. And then there's like an author's note, there's teasers, there's about the author, there's a list of people in the book, so they really bulk up this book to make it thicker. So I'm guessing I have less than 2 hours left to read in this. My plan is, this is my bedtime book, so I'm not going to try to finish this today because I need it. Like, I was up last night from 4 to 5:30. No one else was up, just me. And so I read, not that entire time, I read probably about 15 or 30 minutes. So I'm going to intermittently try and take little videos to show you the food I'm making today. You don't want to watch me fold my laundry. I don't want you to watch me fold my laundry. My house is also a disaster because we've been so sick. Also, I'm like not a person who can like film myself cleaning a bathroom. Though I love to watch those videos on YouTube. A good clean with me really gets me into it. Also, my new charger is supposed to come today, so I do need to edit the video that's coming out before this. This is not going to come out when I thought it was going to. It's going to come out a week later probably. But now I feel like I'm just rambling. I have a lot to do. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to read 2 to 3 chapters, and then I'm going to do a bunch of laundry and do a bunch of cooking and try to take some intermittent videos of my cooking. Hope you're healthy. making all my meals. I've done 4 loads of laundry. I've done 80% of the kitchen. I just picked up a grocery order and I forgot honey, which is what we need very badly. But I also finished this book, and I will say the last 50-ish pages were very exciting and kind of what I wanted the whole book to be like. And then it ended on a damn cliffhanger. I noticed about a week ago, I looked it up on Goodreads, that it's book 1 in a series. And let me just say, if I had known this was a series, I would not have bought it. I love reading series, but I love reading series that each book comes to a conclusion. I love romance series because of that, where each book concentrates on a different couple. Because this ended very open-ended, and it ended with a shock, which I kind of feel like I figured out the shock already, but I'll wait till the second one comes out. I think this book will be very popular because I think I'm in the minority for not wanting to read a YA adventure novel. Also, I'm not a YA. I'm not a young adult. So I think that young adults, the intended age range, will really like this book, and the pacing will feel correct for them. But for me, it's a book of the month book, and they make you pick. They don't make you do it, but I do it, from 3 different ratings. It's love it, like it, didn't like it. I think it's disliked it. And I'm gonna put this in the liked it because I think the writing was good. And I think the end was exciting. And it wasn't hard for me to finish it. There are books I've gotten from Book of the Month that have been near impossible for me to finish. And this, I read this in a few days, it took me longer than I thought, but I finished it. I didn't DNF it. So that's where I am. I was trying to think of what I would rate it on Goodreads, and I think I would give it 3 stars. There were a lot of things that were great about it. It just wasn't a book that I was necessarily gonna love. But now I don't know what time it is. I think I have about 30 minutes before my healthy kids get off the bus. And I am going to drink this cup of tea. And I think I'm just gonna listen to a podcast. I don't wanna read right now. But tonight I'm gonna start Winter Street, I think, depending on how I feel. I do think I might go to urgent care tomorrow. I don't have a fever, which is good. A marker of pneumonia is a fever, and my first daughter who had pneumonia over Thanksgiving had a fever. My daughter who currently has it had a fever. My husband had a fever. I don't have a fever. If I get a fever tonight, I'll go to urgent care tomorrow so I can start another antibiotic ASAP, which is so fun since I just got over strep throat. If you haven't been following around, I did just get over strep throat, still have bronchitis. We have been sick in our house since November 10th. Oh my God. And I'm gonna leave you there so I can relax for a little bit. I'll probably check in one more time tonight about any reading I did, anything crazy that happened, but I do have kind of a busy afternoon. My daughter, who's healthy but already had pneumonia, so couldn't be contagious, has acro, so I'm guessing I'm going to drive her to acro, and then I'll probably sit in the car. Usually there's a viewing room, usually I sit and watch her, but I feel really guilty coughing around people. And it's funny, I used to be able to wear a mask for 6 hours, no problem. But now when I'm sick and I put a mask on, I get real ugh, I feel like I'm not getting enough air. So I'll probably sit in my car and I'll probably bring my book. Or maybe recline my seat and close my eyes and be the mom who falls asleep in the parking lot. But either way, I've got that, and then I have to help my oldest kid with a bunch of homework. And my kindergartner who went to school today, her iPad is missing somewhere in this house, and we need to find it today. So yeah, that's what my exciting afternoon looks like. Thankfully, dinner's already made. Salsa chicken is smelling very good, and then all I add to it is sliced avocado, shredded lettuce, cheese if you want it, and we're done. And tortillas, obviously. So yeah, maybe I'll check in a little bit with what I've read. If not, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you Friday. I don't know. I have a fever and I feel terrible. So I'm going to go to urgent care tomorrow and see if I have pneumonia. And then, I don't know, my husband and my daughter both feel so much better today. So maybe I'll feel so much better on Thursday. But right now I feel very crummy. I did start Winter Street when my sister, oh my God, I'm very tired. My daughter was in acro.
and I only read like the first 25 pages, and I love it so far. I wish so badly that this is the book that I was vlogging. So depending on how I feel, maybe I'll make this a really long vlog, and I'll vlog my time reading this. But right now, I'm really freaking tired, and I just took some Advil to try to get my fever to go down, and I've got chills. So I'm wearing this is like the best invention ever. I think it's called a Comfy. It's a giant fleece hoodie with a pouch. It goes down to like my knees. Everyone needs one. I wear it every day in January because I live in the north. And I got my new charger for my computer. So my computer's on my lap instead of sitting at my desk. But instead of like doing any work, I'm going to watch a bunch of my favorite YouTubers, cozy videos, and then I'm going to go to bed. It's like 8:30 and I'm going to go to bed probably in like 30 minutes. So right now I'm going to watch a Christy and Jones video, and then I'm going to watch some Morgan Long videos, and then maybe I'll read a little bit of Winter Street because it's so charming. And it has like an amazing opening scene, which I'm going to spoil for you right now because it's literally the opening scene. But Kelly Quinn is the patriarch of this family, and he is on a second marriage, and he runs an inn in Nantucket, and he opens a room to clean it, or to make sure it's clean, and his wife is cheating on him with the actor that plays Santa at their inn, and it was hilarious. And as soon as I read that, I was like, I'm so happy I picked this book up. So I don't know if I'll check in tomorrow. I definitely won't be baking. I'm definitely really happy I made all that food this morning. Hopefully I'll feel better. Hopefully I'll get a good antibiotic tomorrow and be on the mend. Good night.
I have flu A, which is a virus no one in my family has had yet. I am thinking that my daughter, who has pneumonia, maybe had the flu first because they didn't retest her because she had been tested recently. So they didn't retest her for the flu, and then they could hear the pneumonia / see it on the x-ray. And so I'm hoping she gave it to me because then she's already on the mend. But now we wait to see if everybody else gets the flu. I'm a big proponent of vaccines. We did not get our flu vaccines yet because we've all been sick since early November, and I just didn't get my life together enough in October to get us our vaccines. So I'm feeling like kicking myself, and it is what it is. In good news, Winter Street is like the most charming book, and I love it. I'm very tired though. I just watched the Christmas special of Virgin River, and I might make myself some toast, and then I might read a little, but I might just lay around and watch movies. And I think this vlog is going to end up being like over a week long, where VLOGMAS you're supposed to do like a day. But that's just the nature of this life that I'm living right now. Oh, yeah. So also I got a alert from Book of the Month that my package is coming today with my new books, which makes me very excited because I'm going to finish Winter Street, and I'm still reading the Barbarian's Touch. But then I think I want to read one of the thrillers I got next, and I can't remember their titles right now at all. Like they're completely out of my brain. One is about a woman whose parents were murdered and people think she did it, and then one is like a thriller that takes place in Maine in the late 1700s. But I can't remember what either of them are called right now. I think The Frozen River is the main one, but the other one is just not in my brain. No one can tell you something. I'll show you the book later. But for now, I'm gonna rest. And I was like literally driving home from urgent care crying and thinking, I'm gonna call this Vlogmas like virus mess. What a mess. What an absolute mess. Okay. See ya. Hello. It's Thursday around noon, and I'm still very sick, but I'm not feeling as awful as I thought I would. The last time I had the flu, my asthma got really, really bad, which is scary. And it's not so far getting that bad. The last time I had the flu, I was not on a daily inhaler, so I think partially that might be helping keep my symptoms in check. One of my kids is homesick today with most likely the flu. I'm taking him to the doctor tomorrow morning because he's not feeling well.
of course, but we're just getting through it, you know. But let's talk about reading news. I look terrible. Oh. So, Winter Street by Ellen Hildebrand. I'm on page 163 out of like 240, and I'm gonna finish this book probably like right now. It's so much fun. I really enjoy Ellen Hildebrand's ability to write a book that has some like pretty heavy stuff going on that still feels light and cozy and not angsty. Everybody in this family has a lot going on. I need some water. All the adult children, their parents, step-parents, everyone has just like a lot going on. But she's still making it feel like a light read. I mean, it's not a beach read because it's a Christmas book, but I don't know what the winter equivalent is of that is. Wrapped up cozy in a blankie reading. I mean, I do that with all my books, but I'm really enjoying that. And then I also, I turn my Kindle on real quick, read quite a bit of the Ice Planet Barbarians last night because I did have kind of a bad night, having a better day. But I am 64% of the way through. But I told you before about how it's got all that back matter. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 chapters left. So I think I'm probably going to finish that today too. I also, bear with me, my room is such a mess. But I got my Book of the Month books yesterday. Let me just sit down on the ground. Oh! And you can see, I'm also watching Wheel of Time, which I'm really enjoying. So the Book of the Month books that I ordered are The Frozen River, which I think I might read next because I read the first line of all of them, and that one had a really good first line. And then No One Can Know. And lastly, I got Divine Rivals. And I was just kind of looking over all the books I have left to read this month. It's on my TBR. So I also have Inkblood Sister Scribe. I want to finish When the Emperor Was Divine, which I'm almost halfway done with. And then I'd like to also read This God of Mine by Sophie Jordan. So it's a lot of books, but it's a lot of books in a month when I usually read a lot. So I think I'm going to be able to do it. If not, I think I was trying to figure out the order in which I want to read them. I'm going to finish the 2 books I'm reading right now. And then I think I'll start The Frozen River. And then I think I might read Inkblood Sister Scribe after that. And then probably No One Can Tell. And then probably the Sophie Jordan. And then probably When the Emperor is Divine. I think I'll save Divine Rivals for last because I won't feel too bad if I don't finish that one in December if I have to read that in January. Because I got it as an add-on and it came out a while ago. And I always do a wrap-up of all the books I got from Book of the Month in January. So I usually don't film until mid-month. So I give myself like a 2-week... what do you call it? My brain's not working. Grace period to get those books done. But for now, I'm going to go check on my sick child, see how he's feeling. And then I think I'm going to finish reading Winter Street because I've really enjoyed it. And I'm so happy I'm liking it because it's a quartet. And so the next, not just this December, but the next 3 Decembers, I have a nice Ellen Hildebrand book to read that I know I'll like a lot. I'll see you in a little bit. So this has been like the most non-traditional Vlogmas vlog ever. So I figured why not film my outro in my minivan while waiting to pick up my healthy children from a birthday party. It's Sunday. I'm on day like 6 or 7 of having the flu. I'm still kind of sick, but I feel much better. I'm wearing a mask when I'm around people so they're not getting sick. My husband and 2 of my other kids never got the flu. 2 of my kids did get the flu. They're doing okay. Knock on wood. We had the flu in 2018 and it was horrific. We had flu A in 2018 and it was horrific. This has not been as bad, thankfully. So I don't know if it's one of those years where the flu is just like not as bad, but we seem like we're recovering much better than we did the time before when we all had it. And literally like all my kids got double ear infections. One of my kids got pneumonia. My asthma changed for the rest of my life from it. Let's wrap up the vlog though, which was mostly about sickness, but I did bring my books in. So I already told you that I finished this, What the River Knows, and I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, said that I liked it on Book of the Month. I think it was a well-written book that I am not the intended audience for. So I don't think I'll continue on with the series, but I think that this book will be very popular, and I think a lot of people will like it. Next, I finished Winter Street by Ellen Hildebrand. This book was so good because she took a family with a lot of really serious things going on, not all of them, but many of them, and made it feel like a light read. So the trigger warnings would be for military, because that does end up being like kind of a heavy plot line, like having a loved one in the military, being deployed, specifically over the holidays as we come up. There is an affair in this, but that plays more funny than upsetting. And then there is a federal crime, which is not a joke. That actually does happen. But I really enjoyed this. And when I finished it, I was like, I'm going to buy Winter Stroll right now and read it next. And then I was like, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait and read Winter Stroll next December, because it's the only one I don't have in the series. I've gotten the other ones, and they just got recovered this year, so now I have to try and find the original cover so it'll match. But I really enjoyed this. I would say I give it like 4.25 stars. Like, it's not quite 4.5 stars, but I really liked it. I think if you're looking for a cozy contemporary fiction Christmassy story, this is a good pick. And then lastly, I brought my Kindle so I wouldn't forget to talk about it. I finished Barbarian's Touch by Ruby Dixon, and I liked it. It was another solid Ice Planet Barbarians read. It was the slowest burn in the series, I think. It takes a long time for them to sort of figure things out, because our heroine Lila is deaf, and she has been kidnapped by the bad aliens with her sister, who can speak sign language with her, but then she and her sister are quickly separated. And while all the Sakui know English now, the guy she's with, Rokan, who ends up being her residence mate, he can understand her because she can talk, but she can't understand him because she can't lip read, because he has fangs and he has a strange accent. So they have to try and figure out how to talk. I really liked that a lot. It was a nice like update in the series, because they had been getting a little bit repetitive, and she did a really good job with like a really different feeling. Also, this is like a little bit of a spoiler, but they find this cave that's like a greenhouse. And let me just say, if I ever landed on an ice planet and there was a cave that was like a greenhouse, I would move in there. They keep saying like the Sakui people can't live there because it's too hot for them. 100%. See ya, residence mate. I'll come visit you. I want to live in the greenhouse. Done. And that's everything I read. I actually haven't started reading anything new yet. I binged season 2 of Wheel of Time, which I really enjoyed, and that made me think, like, do I want to read Wheel of Time? Which is like a 15-book series, but I don't know, maybe I do. So I'm thinking about it, and I've just been relaxing. I'm going to try and do another vlog this month, 1 or 2. Hopefully we'll be healthier. I was just talking to one of my friends who also has her son at the party, and they've had a very similar last couple weeks to us. They've had pneumonia, RSV, adenovirus. I don't think they had strep. They had flu. And she was like, well, the good news is we've basically had everything. I'm like, yeah, that is the good news. Hopefully from now until April, we're pretty healthy, because we've had maybe just like some colds. We've had pretty much every major virus, minus the C word, that you can. So I hope you enjoyed-ish this crazy vlog, basically just about the health of my family and some food I made and some books I read. And I hope you are staying very healthy this holiday season, this December, and are not so ill. Your family is not so ill. And I am wishing you cozy nights. And with that, I'm going to sign off. See ya.